The following story is true, but I've embellished it to be funnier. So I was in Chelsea with a friend of mine having brunch, the gay man's meal, ironically characterized by the presence of melons. And I eventually drank enough coffee to the point where I got really motivated. And I looked at my friend and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Home Depot today. I'm going to spend the whole day at the Home Depot. Because you know, sometimes there are stores where you just need to devote the entire day to going there. Like, when I have to go to IKEA, I am waking up at the crack of dawn, I'm getting a walking stick and a canteen, and I know I'm going to be there the whole day saying words like Ektwarp, and I'm going to eat meatballs, and I'm going to love it. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Home Depot. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. And so I was like, you know what? We're already in Chelsea. I'm just going to go down to the Big Gay Home Depot. Now, but for those of you who don't know what the Big Gay Home Depot is, you can visit it. It's on 23rd and 6th. And I'm from the Midwest. And so Home Depots, to me, are a big metal rectangle that says Home Depot on it. And people go there as the prelude to a Rescue 911 call. And it's like filled with like sawdust and belt sanders and drywall. And the Home Depot in Chelsea is this beautiful Art Deco facade. And when you walk inside, I kid you not, it is lamps, oriental rugs, and an entire section devoted to orchids. So the other Home Depot think it's artistic, but we all know what's going on. Of course, it's not the gayest store in Chelsea. That is the Container Store, an entire store dedicated to organizing and bettering life inside of closets. Am I right? Yeah. And so I go to the Home Depot, and it is rife with sexual tension, because apparently everyone whose Craigslist, what's it called, casual encounter, everyone whose casual encounter yielded no results, they decided to come to the Home Depot to spruce up their apartments. And so everything that they say inside of this home repair store is like a pickup line. They're like, I'm just looking for a good screw, or like, you have anything that I can polish my knob with, or I'm interested in hardwoods, you know where those are? And heaven help the poor man from Boston who needs to purchase caulk in that store, because he's gonna get a surprise, let me tell you. Just have a crack, I need to put some cack in it. So I was like, well, it's time for me to float around the Home Depot. Let's see what's going on. But eventually, I drank so much coffee that I had to go to the bathroom. So I asked the friendly salesperson in the orange apron, I was like, excuse me, do you have a bathroom here? And he's like, yes, it's downstairs in the basement, way in the back corner. And I was like, oh, all right. So I take the escalator downstairs, because I walk on the escalator, because it's not a ride. Anyway, so I walk down the escalator. And, right, am I right? Preach. And so I'm walking towards the back of the Home Depot, and I see a black gentleman go into the bathroom before me, and I'm walking towards it, and suddenly I remember that episode of Oprah I saw about the down low. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is heterosexual men who just enjoy chilling and talking and have an unprotected anal intercourse with their male friends. It doesn't make them gay. Just because you read a book doesn't make you an author. Just because you pilot a boat doesn't make you like semen. And so I was like, wouldn't the Home Depot bathroom be the ideal place for down low encounters? You know, like these men are telling their wives like, yeah, I gotta go to the Home Depot in Chelsea, and she thinks, none the wiser. But I was like, oh, let me just shelve those thoughts. I happen to be in the shelving section. And so I walk into the Home Depot bathroom. And I was like, okay. And here's the layout. So it's stall, urinal against the wall. And I would normally use the urinal in this situation, but apparently it was put in via petition of the Lollipop Guild. It starts here and goes down to the ground like that. And so if I were actually to use it, I would just urinate right on the handle of the urinal. So I was like, I'm not gonna use this. And my friend, when I was telling them the story, he's like, Jess, that's a urinal for handicapped people. And I was like, I don't think people in wheelchairs sit and use the urinal peeing like a Belgian statue into some sort of urinal. Anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and use the stall. So I walk over, and there's one guy in there, so I have a 50-50 chance on this. And so I walk over to the far one, and I was like, all right, push, and it stopped. And I was like, oh, it's a pool. I was like, uh-oh. Because now I realize that I've walked into the empty bathroom and walked over and essentially jingled the door. And now I look down, and up on my Larry Craig knowledge, I know that my feet have traversed the barrier of the stall when I jingled the door. And now, because I'm thinking about it, I've walked over, jingled the door too close, and stood there thinking about it. So to him, so I panic. I run over to the urinal, I take out the equipment, and I'm waiting for it to turn from regular to urinate, as any man knows. And I'm just waiting there. I'm a little, anxiety-filled now, but I'm like, okay. I'm just waiting, and I hear, hello? And I was like, well, that couldn't be for me. And it's like, are you coming or not? And I'm like, oh my, oh, and you know, I haven't read the Emily Post on how you're supposed to deal with anonymous sexual encounters in a bathroom, but Miss Manners never really broached this subject. But I'm thinking about like how I have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to initiate anything. But I'm like, oh my gosh, and now I'm not peeing at all. But now a middle-aged man comes into the room, and this is not going to expedite anything. He stands behind me in line for the urinal, and I'm like, oh, so to him, I'm just like exposed using this ridiculous urinal, and there's a guy back here, and I'm just like waiting. I'm like, please don't say anything. And he goes, are you coming or not? I'm sitting here waiting for you. And I'm like, oh, mercy. And then I look around at him, I'm like, who is he talking to? And this is crazy, I don't even know what's going on. And he's like, are you coming? Are you coming or not? And I was like, oh, I'm now I have to explain to two things. And I'm like, maybe I'll just kick down the door and be like, let's go. Like, I'm, you know, it's a Pottery Barn policy. I broke it, I bought it. I got to use this. And so eventually he goes, hello? Hello? I don't get good reception down here. Flush! He comes out on his cell phone talking to his friend in the bathroom. That's the end of the story. But secretly, I think when he walked out the door, he looked at me, he goes, can you hear me now? Good. And that's it. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.